Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Shingeki no Kyojin, or you could call it Attack on Titan, on chapter 126. Now, this chapter right here, a lot of people say it's kind of rushing a bit right now, and I won't deny the fact it feels a little like fast-paced in a certain way, but it all depends how you even look at it. I mean, knowing after this chapter and where it's gonna be heading to, I think we're entering the major endgame now. I mean, we were already at one part of the endgame, and then I think we just entered somewhat in the middle, and now I think we're going towards the end. That's what I think. I mean, we'll have to see, alright? So, if anything else, let's just get this started. The chapter opens up involving a soldier looking at another soldier trying to, ask him, hey, are you okay? Get up. But all of a sudden gets shot by Hanji. So, it's pretty much playing a flashback of what happened to Hanji and Levi, you know? And we see to it that Hanji ends up stitching up Levi's face, you know, and everything all together, and he looked really in bad shape. I mean, he was literally close proximity of the blast range of what Zeke did to himself, you know, etc. But we see to it that Hanji's like, oh man, I don't even know what to do right now. We can't stop Zeke by ourselves, and we have no choice but to leave it to Armin and Pixies. Right now, with all that's been happening right now, we'll be wanted people. You know, I'd rather have the two of us just live here. Don't you think so, Levi? And then, of course, that's when Hanji became part of that speech of what Eren gave out, you know? And we see to it, Hanji realizes what Eren's plan, you know? And we end up seeing Levi waking up, and he goes like, where's the Beast Titan? That freaking filthy maggot. And we see to it that Hanji's like, no, you don't need to get up. Zeke headed for Shiganshia with the Jaegers, and it's been about half a day since then. And Hanji decides to ask Levi, what happened to you? And Levi ends up telling Hanji, I messed up. I did not, without realizing he was actually prepared to die, and he freaking delivered a freaking blowing thunder spear onto himself, and I get caught up in the explosion, you know, that kind of thing. It really sucks really badly right now for Levi. I mean, think about it. He was this mighty, crazy Titan killing machine that could defeat Zeke in many ways to one, you know, and now he's crippled because the way I look at it, he said, I let him go again, and guess what? He's missing 2 fingers right here. 2 freaking fingers right here on his right hand. Like, I tried to get the idea of what it feels like to actually try to carry something with 2 of your fingers locked, and it's really hard right now. Hell, he won't even be able to grip the sword with his dominant hand ever again, which really, really sucks. Anyways, continuing on, Levi tells Hanji what happened, and we have to it that, Hanji will later on meet up with Theo Margith and the Carp Titan, you know? And Levi, in present time, talking to Margith, says, my objective is killing Zeke, etc. Our interest matches with yours. Our interest matches with yours, you know, that kind of thing. And just judging by Levi, he might have lost use of his legs, I don't know. But one thing was sure, I don't think he could even walk again. I mean, judging by the looks on this chapter after freaking Hanji patched him up, etc., I think he's out of range of using his legs for a while now. I don't know. But one thing was sure, it sucks. But we see to it that Theo Margith listens to what Levi is saying and says, yeah, I see that your strength is on par with the 9 Titans, but I'm going to ask you, how do you intend to dodge my bullet like that? And Levi's like, I can't dodge a bullet, but I negligently expose this pitiful state of mine to the enemy. Shoot or listen. It's your choice. Although Margith knows that Levi has been a pain in the neck to him for a long time, he says, then I'll listen before shooting. You say you killed Zeke, but where is he right now? And Hanji's like, he's probably busy with Eren so he could use his royal blood with the founding Titan whatsoever. And we see to it that Piek's like, you seem to know everything about Titan Professor. You seem to know everything, Titan Professor Hanji. even more than us Marlians. Were you able to see the founding titan or what? She says, it was absurdly big and I know it seems like nothing can be done about it, so we have no choice but to do it, but to combine our strength. That sort of thing. Etc., you know? And we see to it that we get to see some scenes with John having to be in the room and having to be in a depressing state. Also, we get to see Mikasa, and then we see Ani-chan, and then that other girl, and we see Raina caught out cold. Gabby and Armin on the way to try to save Connie. Save Falco. And we see to it that Connie thinking about what he's been doing, you know. He's thinking in his mind, how should I feed my mother to Falco, you know? I give him one of the power of the founding titans, but he isn't even complaining in a camping site like this. And we see to it, he goes like, Sasha, what should I do? Would you even understand me? And we see to it that Connie will later on take Falco to the Rakugo village whatsoever and introduces his mother to her. And he was gonna try to get Falco to like maybe go clean the Titan's teeth, you know, which is really crazy. Of course, we see to it that before Connie could get Falco to climb up there, we see to it that that Gabby says, get away from him. He's trying to feed you to the Titan because you inherited the Jaw Titan. And we see to it that, Armin tries to tell Connie to stop, but Connie's like, no way, you stay away from me. You hear me? Do you even understand why I'm doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And the dialogue's like, oh, I'm trying to keeping him alive is a better idea. And we see to it that, that Gabby tries to convince Falco to use the Jaw's power, but we see to it that Armin on the other hand decides to decides to sacrifice himself and Connie decides, what are you doing, Armin? Stop it! What are you trying to do? And then Armin was about to jump into his mother's mouth and let her become human possibly, but Connie on the other hand decides not to let that happen and stops him, you know, and we see to it that Falco was told the entire story about what happened, and we see to it that Falco cries in tears in Gabby's arms where Gabby comforts him by hugging him, you know, which is really sweet. And we see to it that Connie asks Armin, what would happen if I haven't saved you? And Armin's like, your mother would become human again. And we see to it that Connie realizes if my mother found out that she ate a human and became the colossal inheritor, she would suffer for the rest of her life, etc., you know. As the chapter continues on, we have to it that Connie comes to his senses, and we see to it that Connie tells Armin, let's go save the people who are in trouble, you know. And we get to see a scene switch with Mikasa talking to the girl that I think the one that looked up to Mikasa a long time ago, if you remember correctly. I don't remember her name. It's been like how many months or how many chapters already that I even heard her name or I even remember her, okay? All I know is she had Mikasa's scarf and says and Mikasa knew that she'd have it. But, you know, as for the girl who has Mikasa's scarf, the one that looked up to Mikasa and became a soldier whatsoever, she tells Mikasa the shard of the Thunder Spear in my stomach can't be removed. It's a shame. I can't even see Eren Yeager set the world free. But, you know, I kind of spoke to Mr. Yeager about you a bit, you know? He told me to throw the scarf away, but I decided to keep it with me, and Mikasa's like, just give it back to me, okay? And takes it back from her, and she ends up saying, it's because I looked up to you, I became a soldier, I have no regrets, and I followed you and lived devoting to my heart, you know? So, looks like to me, that girl that looked up to Mikasa became a soldier, and looks like to me she's gonna die in the bed, you know, because a shard of the Thunder Spear is inside her body, and it can't be removed, and even if they try to remove it, it'll be fatal. But aside from that, we see to it that the rumbling still continues on, and you know, Flock, the one who's in lead of the late Jaegers whatsoever, he ends up making a speech, you know, saying the Eldian Empire has been persecuted by the world for hundreds of years, lived under the threat of the Titans throughout the many times over and over, but that's over right now. We are already free. The Liberators, Eren, and the Jaegers have triumphed over this damn world. Dedicate your hearts, blah, 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 you know. And we see to it that Armin and the others, Armin along with Gabby and Falco, along with Connie, they end up having to grab a bite to eat, but not before they ended up actually meeting Annie by chance. And Annie's like, eating and swallowing up some pie, and they go, "Hey, you devouring that pie, huh? It's been 4 years worth of pie. What a nasty way to eat it." Blah blah blah. But we see to it that the girl, I forgot her name, Hitch, I believe. I think her name's Hitch. Now that I'm remembering things, we had to it that Annie left a note for Hitch and says, I happened to meet with Armin and Connie and went with them. I need to hurry. I'm sorry for being such an annoying girl to you. Thank you for talking to me for the last 4 years. Goodbye from your malicious roommate. She goes like, I can't really finish this all by myself. And we see a scene with Flock having to gather some citizens of the Empire along with Jean getting ready to execute 2 volunteers who bear a grudge against the Eldian Empire. We had to it that let's see here. Flock ends up announcing what Yelena has been doing. When she supported the Eldian Empire, she rebelled against Marley, and her true objective is to have Zeke obtain the founder's power, enacting a complete annihilation of Eldians with the Euthanasia plan. And people just call her like names, etc. And they ask her, "Do you have any last words?" She goes like, "You haven't shot me yet. Can you do it already?" And we see to it that Onyakopon, he has been supporting Eldia without knowing about the Euthanasia plan. However, he spat out that he chooses death over living the rule of the Eldian Empire. And we see to it that Okiampon ends up screaming out his words, and he goes like, "I lent you my strength to Eldia in order to rescue my homeland from Marley, but it was also for the sake of you all. And what do I get? My homeland being crushed, my family massacred, and all that's left was some lousy chauvinistic people, huh? There's no value in soaking up to you lot. You should already know how absurd it is to get indiscriminate kill without warning, right? Why don't you guys understand that?" And John was about to shoot him, but it looks like he missed 4 shots, but that was on purpose, I believe, because the Cart Titan shows up and freaking like John pushes Flock out of the way and ends up eating like John, Yelena, and Okiampon, And we see to it that let's see here, Flock tries to get Mikasa to answer, but he realizes that she's not there. And we see to it that Mikasa's like, "Oh, okay, we followed 4 shots. We gotta follow up with the plan." Mikasa, Connie, along with Annie, Gabby, and Falco, along with Armin, are going on carts right now, but Annie realizes that someone's watching us, and it was a silhouette, but we don't know who it is exactly yet. And we see to it that, that the guy keep moving, And I'm pretty shocked about this because even though Mikasa and Annie has not seen each other for a long time, it looks like to me they're willing to put things aside. And there's a reason for that. Because this is where, there's another scene where, the Cart Titan spits out John, Okiampon, and Yelena at the shore. And we see to it that there were some funny moments about cleaning teeth whatsoever. And John's like, "I will never be inside a Titan's mouth ever again. Blah, blah, blah." And Okiampon's like, "Hey, why did you save me last night? When did you join forces with Marley?" And John's like, "It was just last night." And we see too, he goes like, "Even though you'd secure your position if you stay with the Jaegerists," he goes like, "Yeah, but at that point, I wanted to plug my ears and shut myself inside some room. But the bones turned into ashes won't forgive me for that." And Yelena does ask "Why did you save me?" And we see to it that Hanji explains the condition to borrow the Cart Titan's power was to get you and to bring you back alive. A request from Mr. General. And we see to it that Yelena stares at Theo Margit, and it looks like to me he may want to talk to her or possibly kill her. We don't really know. We're going to have to find out. And we see to it that Reiner gets kicked in the face by Annie and says, "Get up, you idiot." And Reiner was freaking out because of what's happening, but Gabby and Falco tells Reiner "Calm down, please calm down. They're our allies." And Connie's like, "There's no time. Let's hurry up and go." He goes "Go where?" And Connie says, "To save the world, obviously." And we have Connie, Armin, Annie, and Mikasa with Gabby and Falco right in front of Reiner getting ready for action. We don't know, but that's about it. So overall, without a lot of detail here and there, we get to see a scene with Hanji and Levi having to meet up with Theo Margit after we see a backstory what happened to Levi and Hanji, And they end up forming a plan to combine their strength to possibly take down Eren. I don't know. But one thing for sure is that, yeah. Then we see a scene with Connie and Falco, and and Armin and Gabby reach in time to save Falco, and Armin almost got himself killed if it weren't for Falco saving him, you know? And, you know, Mikasa would end up finding a scarf, take it back, and then, like, talk to the girl who looked up to her for a while, and then ends up possibly passing away because she has a shard of a thunder spear lodged inside her body, but they can't remove it. And even if they did, it might be fatal to a point that she'll just die anyway. And Flock, being the Jaegerist speech giver whatsoever, Armin finds Annie along with Connie and Gabby and Falco, etc. And, you know, Annie goes with them. And then Okiampon and Yelena was about to be executed, but John follows up with a certain plan. Cart Titan shows up, saves John, Yelena, and Okiampon by putting him in the mouth. And then Mikasa, Armin, Annie, Gabby, Falco, they all end up, like, getting off to go somewhere, you know? And then Yelena, yeah. Cart Titan delivers Yelena, John, and Okiampon at a shore where Hanji, Levi, and Theo Margaret is at, you know? Reiner gets kicked in the face by Annie and gets kicked in the face by Annie, and Connie tells him, let's go save the world, let's do this. And then, yeah. A lot of things happen in this chapter, and I won't deny the fact that the way I look at this chapter and after explaining to you guys, it feels a little bit fast. It feels really fast, and depending how the situation goes, I don't know. Many people suggested that there might be this type of ending, which, we'll have to see. I mean, like, there's a lot of things going on, but it's gonna be very hectic from here on out. I mean, like, whatever's gonna happen next, yeah. Like I said from the very beginning of this recap or something, I think we're finally entering the final part of the endgame now. I mean, like, Part 1 was already at, like, at Marley's arc, you know? Part 2, it's right here, where, Part 2 is where, like, they all return to Paradise Island, Eren revolts, and then the Jaegerists, blah, blah, blah. Then Part 3 comes about, where, like, I guess people are teaming up right now and possibly go save the world. But, depending on the situation, I don't think this is going to be very easy. And how they're going to save the world? Possibly kill Eren? How? I don't know. Guess we'll have to find out. So, yeah. So, crazy stuff happening. This chapter felt a little bit fast, I guess, depending how you even look at it. But right now, all I can say is one thing was sure, and I said it, and I'm pretty sure I might have said it multiple times in my manga chapter recaps of Attack on Titan. I think we are in the end game now. Like, final part of the end game. Guess we'll have to see. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!